What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Hell, thanks for just a minute. Hang tight just a minute. Oh, that was when me and Kevin was doing the thing. You know, let me fix that. Our guests are running a few minutes behind, and we'll get this down the road. Okay? Oh, there's Cole. Add him to the stream.
Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing tonight?
I'll be right back. Let me adjust one thing.
All right. Ron road tripping, I see. Excuse me while I have a drink. Just soda.
That's for damn sure. Can you hear me okay or no?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. It's just not used to your background.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm on the road, man. Yeah, all this shit is corrected. Let me adjust my volume down. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, man.
Better, worse? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear. Sure. I can hear.
I don't want to be too overbearing, and this way, I was able to do this kind of safely. It's just trying to find a decent place with decent internet when you're in the middle of nowhere.
Right, and where are you right now?
What state am I in? What time? Wait, what time zone? I'm in Eastern Standard Time. I believe I'm in North Carolina.
Okay.
So I'm on my way back.
Right. So how much further do you have to go?
250 miles.
Jeez, and you want to do an interview? Man.
The show must go on. I you know me, I don't miss. Actually, no. Well, the option was this. I was either going to stay up the road again tonight and do the interview from up the road, or I was going to head most of the way down the road and do the interview from here. And then, and you see what I'm doing now. This.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So, no, we're good. And then Matty should be along any minute as well, right?
He should. I mean, I know life can get a little hectic for him sometimes, and sometimes he gets calls and he's got to answer those calls and everything like that. So, not just on the sense of being a pastor, but also because of his position as the general manager of Pro Wrestling Union. So,
yeah, he stays quite busy.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've got a hell of an event coming up this weekend. I am all but there to be ready for this show.
I know. I'm kind of in the same boat, to be honest with you, like with everything that's been going on. And I'm not going to even lie to you guys. I wasn't feeling that great yesterday. And I had symptoms that kind of said I may have a certain virus that sounds oddly familiar to a particular beer that you get from Mexico. But tested negative, everything's good. And I've actually have had 3 tests now, and all of them were negative, and I feel so much better today. I think it was just like a 24-hour bug, but I've been good.
Very good. Very good. Well, I don't want to hear about anybody being sick, especially with the Rona's type thing.
Right.
That's part of the reason I'm on my way back from, where I was at just south of DC.
Believe me, I understand completely. I honestly do.
So we were, we had to go up there. We had to do what we had to do up there. We got some comments coming in. Michael King has said, enjoy your soda. I don't drink soda, but Cole was, so that works. D-Money, the host, said, getting ready for Monday Night Raw. Right on. Man, but how you saying, like, he's saying this. He's saying they come into DC and you got Cowboys stuff on your like on your picture here. Make it make sense. You in DC, but you got a Cowboys thing. Like, nah, that should be a Commanders logo, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, everybody's
I
got their team of choice. I mean, I know people in South Carolina that they're Patriots fans and all that other stuff. They're wrong, but
I don't know. I don't pay no attention to any of it anymore. I haven't watched the NFL in 10 years.
I actually watched one of the games just a couple of weekends ago. So, and that's probably the first time I watched an NFL game, and I'd say since the Super Bowl, because I'll watch the Super Bowl, but I'm more of a college guy, and I know that's going to make Jimmy Ward very happy because my alma mater, the University of South Carolina, won the Palmetto Bowl this year. So,
oh, hey, there you go. That's cool. Good for you. I don't know what any of that means. So,
Clemson, Carolina. That's all it is. That's what it boils down to.
Okay.
If you've been paying attention to Jimmy's post, that's all he's been talking about since that damn game. And he's not letting it up.
No, he don't need to either. It don't I just move on and go look at something else normally.
Right.
The only thing that got me about the whole thing was it wasn't directed at him. It was directed at the toxicity.
Oh yeah, it gets downright brutal, and the thing is that like I said, I went to school over at University of South Carolina and all this other stuff, and I loved going to the games when I had an opportunity to go and all that other stuff, and a rivalry game. I've got family members that are Clemson fans. I even dated a girl once that was a Clemson girl, and all this other stuff. So, it would always be interesting, but it would never get to the point of trying to cut each other's nuts off. I know the history. It's if we pick up a win, yes, we're going to celebrate because, between these two schools, Carolina doesn't really win a whole lot of them. So, it's always a big moment for us.
It seems that way, unfortunately, that Carolina doesn't win too many of the games.
Well, it's almost all right. The little meme where it's like the guy at the Olympics, they put the gold medal on him, he bites the medal, and then he kisses the girl. He's flipping everybody off.
Yeah, I know that exact meme.
Yep, that is pretty much what a lot of Carolina fans are like right now.
Well, that makes the most sense. Need one moment. Got a AC inverter here, so I'm trying to make sure I keep this laptop up and running with.
That's okay. I'm trying to keep myself propped up and everything like that because I'm already in PJs. So,
look, I didn't even feel like changing out of my suit. So,
hey, man, you look good. You look good. So yeah.
I'm not wearing the customary bow tie. That was the crazy thing. I had it with me, and I still didn't wear it.
Right.
But hell, I don't know where Matty is. And there is only one picture I have from the event. Okay, I gotta turn the light off on my car because that thing's going insane.
Okay, and which one was that one?
What? Cooper and Country. That was the only picture I didn't have loaded.
Oh, okay. Well, minus that there was a couple of changes into the card. That was actually the very last match that was added. So I mean that's understandable.
Right.
But yep, that is going to be one of the matches. You're going to have two really big boys going at it with Big Country, who's this is actually the first time he's been back in Pro Wrestling Union since our very first event in Batesburg, Leesville.
Oh wow.
Yep. So the last time that Country was with us, it was me and him actually in a tag team against the Soul Patrol.
Wow.
It was my very, very last match.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that. I the way I wanted it set up was that I wanted to wrestle guys that I had a history with. Big Country mentioned this in a promo not too long ago that I had a hand in his training, which is true. But I don't take full credit for him or anything like that because basically he got the basis stuff getting in the ring with me. There's only so much I could do with a guy that's like 4 times my size at the time. Now it's only 3 times my size. That's because of me, not him. He lost weight. I gained weight. But after that, he just kept learning from other guys, and then Sweet Dreams, I guess, became his predominant trainer. And me and Dreams have always been great around each other, always been around the same circles. And of course, Dion Johnson and I are from Union, and we've known each other for years. So it only made sense. It would be great just to have the 4 of us in a tag team match. It didn't matter who came out on top. We just knew it was going to be a good contest. And at the end of the night, I was the one that got pinned. But I think the 4 of us walked out winners that night because the fans there at Batesburg, Leesville during that show, they loved every second of it. They cheered for us. They loved us. And the other special thing was that my son Cage, that was the first time that he got to see me wrestle. And there's a video that was supposed to be of my last match, but instead they recorded my son's reactions. So when I was on top, he was cheering, but whenever like I was in the predicament or taking the beating, he was like over there crying. So it's like 15 minutes of his reactions and only 2 minutes of wrestling that you see in the video.
Man, well, at some point, you gotta have it to where you can get both, right? Why more than one camera?
Right, but my last match, and it never got recorded, so but it's okay.
We can always, you can always Ric Flair.
Nope. I thought you were gonna say you can always do one more. I was like, no, no,
That's
we're
why
done.
I said Ric Flair.
No, we're done. We're done, man.
Yeah,
Unless you got to give me a good payday for me to come back.
well, I mean, I said the same thing about attending other shows, so.
I don't know, man. There's some shows that you couldn't pay me enough money. It doesn't matter how much you pay me.
That was kind of my point.
I know. But
I think I did get that call one time. And I was like, really? Name my price? Sure, I need $1,000. What? Why? You're not worth $1,000. I'm like, I know, but I want $500 up front in cash so I can buy a new holster that fits better in my suit.
There you go.
That was my exact response to them when they offered that spot. I was like, I don't want to be there anyway, so we're good. Like,
right. Well, Ron, it's your show.
Yes, it is. So let's talk about this upcoming show we've got here, Pro Wrestling Union Holiday Havoc. As we can see here, the card has changed.
Right.
But I think I do have one out-of-date picture. This one is one of them, but it is what it is.
Right.
So let's lay this card out as best we can. We have Christopher Prince versus Nathan Cross. Christopher Prince being accompanied by Derek Vanderford. I swear every time I read his name, it looks like it says Dickhead Vanderford, but that's Derek Vanderford. I got it.
Right. But yeah, this one's going to be a really good match, and I love the video that got posted not too long ago where Christopher is saying what he needed to say, and then lo and behold, there's Nathan Cross right there, and they had a few words and everything like that, but Christopher Prince, he mentioned that everybody uses the word like show stealer, banger, and stuff like that, and he's like, I don't do that, and I don't do that, But fact of the matter is, it's going to be the match to watch. To be honest with you, it's my opinion on that one. Plus, we've already announced for 2023 we are going all in on the junior heavyweights. We got the championship coming up.
I saw I saw the layout or I've been seeing the announcement rather,
Right.
and I'm like, man, this is going to be awesome. Now, can you elaborate a little bit on the junior heavyweights, weight class, restrictions, things like that?
Right. Junior heavyweights, we do this by what is for the most part down the line for most combat contact sports. So whether it be boxing, MMA, wrestling, and everything like that, 210 pounds and under is the weight limit.
210 and under. Okay.
210 and under, because that is the way that it's set up in most contact sports. See, professional wrestling, if you think about the cruiserweight title back in WCW, the weight limit was 225 pounds. But then when WWE reintroduced the cruiserweight title just a few years ago, when
205.
it was 205. But general layout, and if you look at history, the weight limit was somewhere around 215 to 210. So I figured 210 was perhaps the best number to go with.
Okay. And that makes sense. It also opens up the door for for some powerhouse guys who are still small, as well
Right.
as your small flyers. I.e. i.e. the way Nathan Cross wrestles, or
Exactly.
Logan Wright, or a you could bring in a more powerhouse or prize fighter style like a Brino Royce. You're opening up just a huge lineup there.
Right. Because I know that since you brought up Brino, I know that he's actually cut a lot of weight recently.
Yes, he has.
And he does meet that qualification for the junior heavyweight. Another individual that I've seen not too long ago who looks phenomenal. You wouldn't think junior heavyweight just based off of the way he looks, but Kilgore.
Yes.
He falls into that weight category, and that's just only naming just a couple of guys. There's people throughout the Southeast that fit into this category, and a lot of them have already shown interest. So my email and my Facebook Messenger has been blowing up since I made that announcement.
I'm sure. Man, look, I've been on the phone with promoters and talent since I left. Since I left yesterday morning,
Right.
it's been nonstop. Now I didn't answer the phone when I was doing the family jobs here.
Right.
I ended up taking a call late last night from Brino, because apparently there's some young whippersnapper out there who's trying to make a name for himself on Brino's name, and I think he's barking up the wrong tree personally.
Right. Uh, and you're actually going to get that with a lot of people. The thing is, 9 times out of 10 now with social media, it's all being done on social media and not enough in the ring. Because I know who you're talking about, and I thought it was very funny that he said more people want to talk more than they want to wrestle. And I'm like, I thought about commenting like, hate to break the news to you, kid, but you're kind of falling into that same category, are you not?
Right. Oh, well, you're talking about. I believe you're talking about a different opponent of his, rather than his current one. But his current opponent, I whenever I go home, okay, I always go to one location, and it's one of the most beautiful spots on this planet. It is actually the island and location of the very first mass that ever took place on this continent by our people. I'm not a very religious person, even with the nickname and moniker of the saint. I'm not overly religious. However, that place has always held something special to me. So I went out there and posted a picture. And oh, you're looking for a place to bury Brino? No, son. I came to the original place of prayer to make sure your soul's okay, because Brino's going to snatch it.
Right.
I mean, he can try, but a lot of these guys are starting to figure out when it comes to social media. You can talk on it all you want via typing, but when they put the camera on, you see how many of them fail. for every person that can sit there and type out 50 comments and be sounding like they're quick and highly educated and everything else, autocorrect does wonders for people. It really does. But
do I know who this individual is that you're talking about then?
Likely not. Very, very new talent. Very new talent. Hold on here. In the we have our own chat room in here as well as the general comments section, which I will go ahead and keep that on. I'll go ahead and catch that up real quick, and then we'll be good to go.
Okay.
See here, Kyle and Disney dedication from Ron Emerson Jr. Yeah, I said 8 Thursday. Here we are. It's 8. It's Thursday. We're live and in living color, so we're good to go. Michael King said, "Define good payday."
Define good payday. I need at least 4 numbers in front of the decimal. Kind of like how Ron said he needed $1,000.
Yeah.
Well, I need more than that.
And I'll be the announcer for your final match for $1,000 too. So that way we both get paid.
Hey, that works.
That's fair. Let's see. Colin Disney said, "Kurt Angle comeback pay for you to wrestle." There we go.
I'll take a quarter of what Kurt Angle wants. So,
Scott Larson of #True said, jingle bells, jingle down to Pro Wrestling Union. Yeah, I suck at this. Hey, Saint and Cole. What's up, Scott?
I love Scott. He's a good person.
Oh, he's good people. Michael King said Brino is 199.6 pounds. Yes, Brino has been cutting weight. Cody Gibbs chiming in. Hey, guys, how you doing, Cody? But let's see here. So that matchup coming out the gate is going to be awesome. Like I said, I don't remember what match order is. I've just got pictures in picture order here. So
that's fine.
Let's see. And I know this is the one that has changed. It is no longer Ella Envy on the card.
Right.
Jade versus Katrina Cries, right?
That is correct. So Ella, when we talked and got everything set up for December 3rd, it was already brought to my attention, which I've had to deal with this before with guys like John Schuyler, because if they're contracted anywhere, at any point they can be told, hey, you're needed for this date, and therefore the company they're contracted to is the obligation. No ifs, ands, or buts. She's also one half of the NWA Women's Tag Team Champions, so of course she has a lot of obligation with them as one of their champions. Right. Everything was set up between her and Brittany, but then she let me know not too long ago that the dates came in for the NWA TV tapings, and of course, going into that weekend, she's got to be there. And sweetheart of the person, she really, really hated it, but she was already discussing well, I know that I've got these dates available as of right now. If you got anything set up for that date, just let me know. And if you don't have anything, let's communicate. So, I mean, she was upset about it. I was very understanding. Great communication skills. We're going to do our best to get her back a little bit later on. Right. But yes, so for this case, we got Katrina Cries. She was able to be picked up, and a lot of that is thanks to, I don't want to say Matty, because it wasn't necessarily Matty that helped make this possible. Aubrey G. She.
I saw the video. Video was fantastic.
That was the cutest video I have ever seen, and I have to say it's probably one of my favorite promos ever. That Uncle Cole ought to fire you line gets me every time.
Yeah, it was awesome. Let's see here. Brino Royce has joined the show. He has chimed in to say 0.4 pounds instead of 0.6 pounds. Thank you, sir. And then he also
Cold,
said
cold.
Colby Cole. Yeah.
We had a discussion about that today.
Oh, really? And then Scott Larson said 0.5, sir. Larson, are you, like, did you check his scale or something? Like, give me a break. What are you doing here? Did you increase it from 0.4 to 0.5 because of Thanksgiving? Like, how did that work?
Right.
I think it's an automatic thing where weight classes need to be suspended for the 2 weeks after Thanksgiving because there's, nobody can control Thanksgiving. You don't know how good stuff's going to be and how much of it you're going to eat.
I have to say I'm pretty proud of myself. I didn't really overdo it this year.
I did not either.
But somebody brought vegan mac and cheese, so that was a very easy no.
Vegan mac and cheese. What is that?
We shall not discuss the vegan mac and cheese.
So the noodles are made of egg, so that don't make sense. And
That was my argument too, but
so like what was it?
That was
noodles and
no,
goat. No, can't be goat cheese.
Nope. See, here's
I can't even figure it out.
Vegan cheese on top of regular macaroni noodles, and you had the same idea as I did. It's like if you're using noodles that's made with eggs and all this other stuff, it's not vegan, but you can't tell anybody anything.
Dude, I have had to learn the hard way that trying to educate the masses is not the way. It is not the way, sir.
We'll just sit there and say that the vegan mac and cheese was skipped both occasions. So
probably by a lot of people too. You probably weren't alone in that boat.
Yep. All right, let's go beyond the vegan mac and cheese. We're done talking about it.
Scott Larson said, "I'm stalking him. Remember how much I hated?" Yeah. Why did that pop back up? Me trying to use this laptop is
why on earth are you stalking him, Scott?
I have no idea. But we got a title match to talk about. We had the Heart Killers defending the Pro Wrestling Union Tag Team Championships against the Heat Seekers, the 4-time NWA Tag Team Champions.
Right. And also former Pro Wrestling Union Tag Team Champions. They were not able to hold to obligations due to their increase of bookings. And, when it comes to independent wrestling, basically it's once the dates are set, the dates are set. And there was a few conflicting dates that there was just no way they can make it, because if you're on one side of the country, but your show is on the other side of the country, there is no amount of double shotting that you could do that day. So they ended up missing 3 shows, and we had a discussion. We talked about it, and they were like, well, I guess we're going to have to forfeit the titles. So, and I told them, I said, well, if you guys ever get an opportunity to come back, depending on your schedule, just hit me up. And of course, that's been almost a year, or not quite a year, because the last time we saw them was back in September.
Okay.
So of last year. And yeah, actually it was about a year, because they made their return on the Ray Bitt Barber Memorial Show, Parade of Champions.
Yes, they did.
Which was in September. Now, of course, they were willing to work their way back to the top, and everything like that. They had an easy number 1 contender slot just waiting for them, since they never technically lost the titles.
Right.
But at the end of that night, the Heart Killers came in, attacked both of the men after they defeated Bruno and Luca Daniels in their tag team match.
Yep.
That's right. And Matty G decided to make it official, so that tag team match is going to take place. And I automatically know which team Matty G is wanting to win. Even though he should be impartial, but we know the history between the Heart Killers and Matty G, specifically Chris Vallow and Matty G.
Yes. Chris Vallow and Matty G have had a whirlwind as of late, up to and including, the general manager having to get physical. So, I mean, things are things are definitely heating up on that aspect.
Right.
Cole, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different with this
Go ahead.
because you never know who's there. You never know who's paying attention. I'm actually going to drop the invite to this to any of the talent that I can find on Facebook. So if they want to come in and say anything, they are more than welcome.
All right, that sounds good.
That is a totally different thing. Normally don't do that.
But no, that sounds good. Excuse me 1 second. I'm just gonna sit here and rest my eyes for a moment.
Oh, very good. Don't worry about it, man. I thought about doing that too when I was on my way here. I had my neck pillow on and everything. Good to go.
I got a little bored, so I started watching Mr. Wrestling Jr.'s complaints.
Oh man, he's quite the character. He's got a lot of off the wall statements that he makes, and I don't understand some of it. And then he kept calling me somebody I didn't remember the name. I can't remember.
He kept calling you Downtown Bruno.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, have you heard of Dr. Harvey Whippleman?
Yes.
That was before he was in the WWE. That was his name, like in Memphis and all that other stuff. He was Downtown Bruno.
Well, I mean, Harvey Whippleman always kind of skeeved me out. Like, that dude kind of gave me the creeps.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't see the connection there, but
No. I think I'm way more of an asshole. But he's made a lot more money in wrestling than I have, so I mean, I guess that's a compliment still.
I don't know.
It could be. As long as everybody else seems to call me something else in the ring, whether it be Vanderford calling me Scott, which is weird. Then you have Drew Hood calling me such and such. The Heart Killers call me something different. It's like, okay, guys, whatever.
Right. So
Let's see here.
Let's see what the next match has got on the. Well, see, there you go. You actually have the graphic right there.
I was downloading it while you were talking about it in the very beginning of the show.
Right.
I went and grabbed it. So, but yeah, and that's going to be two powerhouse dudes, two big guys going at it. I'm interested to see this. I've actually never seen Big Country wrestle in person. I don't believe.
He is honestly. All right. No disrespect to anybody that likes to throw around the name King of the Super Heavyweights. Big Country is the King of the Super Heavyweights in the Carolinas.
Fantastic.
You got a man his size that can perform a super kick and can hang with people who are a lot smaller and in better, and like just overall they look to be in better condition, but yet he can hang with them, and the rest of these guys get blown up just walking into the ring.
Nothing wrong with that.
So as far as I'm concerned, Big Country, King of the Super Heavyweights.
I believe I saw him in a Battle Royal style matchup. I think it was like a hardcore Battle Royal thing, Bunkhouse Brawl maybe. I think I saw him in that last year. I'm not 100% sure. I keep waiting for Scott Larson to post pictures from that event where all of us were at as his like things he's grateful for. So I think it's funny. Let's see. Catching up on comments again. Tiffany Childers says, "Hey guys, see you Saturday." Yes.
Thank you, Tiffany. See you Saturday.
And I got one more poster to put up tomorrow. Fantastic.
Thank you.
She's out there doing footwork. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Colin Disney said The Rock is a huge fan of Downtown Bruno.
Yes.
Okay. Toby Childers said, yes, he is. He is very athletic. Talking about Big Country.
Big Country. Right.
I met him at a charity show, and it was the first time I got to speak with him. And the guy was class, all the way, like super intelligent.
Right.
I was just like, him and I sat there and talked for 20, 30 minutes. Just
right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, just like outside of the ring, Country is a super great guy. He honestly is. Has a lot of respect for the business. Has done a lot to improve himself, and he's actually very selfless. Like I've been in the locker room with him several times, and of course, like I said, I had like that small hand when he started training and everything like that. He'll sit there and he'll talk to the guys, especially after he's learned and been in the business for such a while, that he's patient with people, but yet he's direct and everything like that. And all he wants to do is to leave the business a lot better than he came into it. So,
right.
And Cooper Hasley is another solid big guy. And the thing is that, you look at him and a lot of people don't read a lot of like they might look at him and go like, yeah, he's a big guy and everything like that. But a lot of people just look at him as just maybe a little bit goofy. But in all honesty, he's got that edge to him.
Right.
And I think if he taps into it a little bit more, he could become very unstoppable.
Gotcha. Now, he seems to be one of those guys. I've watched him develop over the last year because I've seen him at multiple places. And Cooper Hasley has, in every match I've ever seen him in, he just keeps getting better and better and better. And eventually, he's going to end up against an opponent where he's going to have to use everything he's got to score that win. And when that happens, when that moment happens, I hope to God I'm in the building because I want to see it.
Right.
He's impressive to watch. I'll 100% agree. When I see him go fully unhinged, I can't freaking wait.
And I think it's going to happen a lot sooner than later, to be honest with you.
He's going to have to bring a hell of a lot of game to go up against Big Country. So,
oh yeah,
that very well may be a knockdown drag out brawl.
Right.
And if either one of them big dudes get pissed, you don't know what's going to happen. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
And Pro Wrestling Union has a very sturdy, very strong ring. So luckily,
yes,
and hopefully, the guys don't tear that apart going after each other.
Right. Let's see here. The very next matchup. Now, this has changed just a little bit since the poster, but I'm sure you can elaborate and tell everybody what is going on here. We have the Carolinas Championship. Cam Jackson is chasing this title from Dion Johnson. Dion Johnson is your current Carolinas champion. What I'm trying to figure out is what changed in this matchup, because I know something big has come up, and I know there's a lot to unpackage in this. So the floor is yours, sir.
Right. So Pro Wrestling Union has already made the decision that after the end of 2022, the Carolinas Championship will be discontinued. We know the history between Cam and Dion dates all the way back to CPW. And since the powers that be over at CPW, considering that I was their commissioner at one point, I have since stepped out of the role. And more on that will be revealed. It wasn't just because some jerk off cowboy entered the backyard of one of our friends and decided to lay a right hand across my face or to it. But
Right.
anyway, we've been looking at the footage. We've been listening to the way that Cam's been just kind of sitting there dogging everybody and everything like that. So the CPW title is not a defunct championship. CPW is a promotion that is dormant, but
Same.
it is a still active championship. Therefore, because Cam caused the elimination to Dion after he was already eliminated from the Battle Royal this past October at Monsters Brawl, but Carter, who is a dear friend of mine, didn't like that, and he said, well, you know what? I don't like the way that Dion got screwed out of a opportunity to become the number one contender to the Pro Wrestling Union Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
So he was the one who contacted me. He contacted Jimmy Ward, and he said, what if we up the ante a little bit? And I said, well, what do you got in mind, Buck? And he said, put the CPW title on the line. I was like, but the Carolinas title's on the line. He's like, title for title. Either way, one of these men is going to walk out as the last holder of the Carolinas championship while also walking away the CPW heavyweight champion.
Man, so there's a lot on the line. And see, you know, when he said defunct in Cam's video, I was like, that's a legacy company. I wouldn't call it defunct. I would call it a legacy.
Well, see, and that's the problem with Cam. You know, he don't mind sitting there flaunting the championship around and carrying it everywhere and doing these promos with the belt right there in his hand or in his arms. And then he talked about Buck Carter be rolling over in his grave if he was dead. It was right. Buck's. Hey, Cam, it was Buck's idea.
That's it. You've seen him take this belt everywhere. I've seen it. I've seen the CPW title on the XWW network, which we're a part of with this show. So,
right. So as far as I'm concerned, Buck wanted to make sure that championship still gets defended until the next time a CPW organized event comes up. And since, well, I better not reveal too much, but since there are ties between me, Buck Carter, and Jimmy and stuff like that, this was an easy thing to happen. So at the end of the night, someone's going to be the last Carolinas champion, but they're going to be going forward, the CPW heavyweight title holder, and I'll even do one better. And I've already cleared this up with both Buck and Jimmy. Now, we know that sometime during 2023, when Chase's sabbatical is over, Chase has to wrestle the interim PWU heavyweight champion, right?
Right.
And we know that title match is going to be coming up, and we'll talk more about that later. But whoever becomes the undisputed Pro Wrestling Union heavyweight title holder, the first title defense will be against the CPW heavyweight champion. Not a title for title situation. It's just the champion of CPW will get an opportunity to wrestle for the Pro Wrestling Union heavyweight title.
Whoa. So, in essence, let's look at it as if it was today, right? Let's look at it as if it was today. So you're saying that Drew Hood would have to defend his Pro Wrestling Union heavyweight title against current CPW title holder would be Cam Jackson. So Drew Hood would have to face Cam. And those two guys have a hell of a history together.
Right, as part of the Three Brothers.
Yeah. And among other things. I mean, those two have ran the roads together for years. So who would know the other better than one of them two?
That's very, very true.
Right.
But we still have to have a undisputed championship match between the uh, lineal champion and the interim champion.
Okay.
Current interim champion is Drew Hood.
Yes.
Chase Emery is the lineal champion. He never lost the heavyweight title and holds on to the physical lineal championship. Whoever wins between Dion and Cam in December, and it'll most likely be in April of next year, they will face whoever is the undisputed Pro Wrestling Union heavyweight champion. So there is a lot on the line for this one match. Final Carolinas champion. Whoever's going to be the holder of the classic pro wrestling heavyweight title, and then get a title shot against the undisputed Pro Wrestling Union heavyweight champion.
Man, well, let's check this next match out, because this next matchup is for the interim. Drew Hood would kick me in my face if he heard me say interim, but I don't.
There's nothing wrong with interim.
I don't think he listens to my show, so it's okay.
Right.
But you've got the interim heavyweight champion Drew Hood defending the title against the number one contender Bebop.
Right. And I am really looking forward to this matchup. And this is no disrespect to Drew Hood. I think he's actually been a solid champion. Despite that it is the interim championship, and I know he hates that term. He shouldn't hate that term, because he automatically knows if he holds on to that championship for just one more match, it's going to be him and Chase Emery, and they've already been making snide comments in regards to each other on social media.
That's the match I want. I want to see Drew and Chase go at it, because they're both fantastic in the ring. I want to hear the promos to build between the two of them, because when you get Drew Hood on a tangent, when he goes off,
right,
it is some of the most must-watch stuff that there is in independent professional wrestling. Period.
But I'm going to be honest with you, man. This whole time, knowing that this match has come up, Drew has not been vocal, which is very unlike Drew.
Yeah, that is weird.
Just uncharacteristic of him. And like I said, this is no disrespect to Drew. Bebop has been part of Pro Wrestling Union since day one.
Yes, he has.
He was at the very first PWU show. This is when we were doing the shows over in Batesburg, Leesville. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if he's ever missed a show.
Not 100% on that one.
I don't think he has. Just to be honest. I mean, my memory is not the greatest these days, but, I have a pretty good memory in regards to who was here, when, and where, and all this other stuff. And I would say I'm 95% sure that he has been at every Pro Wrestling Union show for the last 3 years.
Shoot.
So he was the first Carolinas champion. So let's not forget about that. That's already in the PWU history books. And he has come such a long way. And this is a big opportunity for him.
I can remember one of the first times I met Bebop.
Right.
And I was like, we were in Una. Okay. That'll tell you how long ago it's been. We were in Una. I think it was the Pro Wrestling Union show at Una. I don't 100% remember. But I was in there trying to get ready. Everybody else was getting ready. And Bebop was on the phone with somebody. talking about his new tights. It was right after he got what we call, hey guys, the long pants that the guys wear. They call them long boys. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So he had just got them. And he goes, "Hey man, look, he said, no weird shit. How did these look?" I'm like, "Awesome, man, go for it." So he was like, "All right, thanks." And that was the end of it. So I hadn't really talked to Bebop much ever, and it was like one of the first interactions I had with him was that. So
Right.
I've always remembered that moment, and I was like, I mean, he's asking my opinion, so I guess that's cool.
The best Bebop story, and I know I've told this story to you before, but maybe a lot of people don't know this. One of the last matches that I had for Classic Pro Wrestling was in a triple threat match. One of the people was Chris Phoenix, not the Chris Phoenix that everybody now knows as Christopher Prince. It was another Chris Phoenix, Cowboy.
Was it Cowboy Chris Phoenix or was it Outlaw Chris Phoenix? I think it was Outlaw Chris Phoenix.
We're going to call him Cowboy Chris Phoenix because there was only one real outlaw, and
Yeah.
And he's a dick.
He's been fired, so
yeah, he's been fired. But anyway, and Bebop, and these two are the baby faces, and I'm the heel. All this other stuff, and for some reason, breaking the kayfabe here. I was going over.
Yeah, I'm so worried about kayfabe on my show, man.
Yeah, I know. Some people can't stand it. But anyway,
Hey,
I was going to be going over, and I was told that I was going to be penning both Chris and Bebop in short fashion. Like I was going to just job them out, and I was like, why? In all honesty, what I said was, with Chris, I understand completely. I don't understand with Bebop.
right.
So anyway, but that was the information that was brought out, and the person that put the match together, who was the booker at the time for CPW, he was not there that night. So I said, fine, I'll still be the person that goes over, but we're going to make this seem a little bit more interesting.
Competitive.
I told Chris from the start, which, he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, how's it going? Yeah, I'm looking forward to the match." I was like, "Well, we're going to do things a little bit differently." Explained it to him. He was like, "Okay, well, whatever you want to do, man. That's really cool. Whatever." Bebop came in. He gave himself a pep talk before coming up to me. He was probably pacing outside the fire department where the show was, saying, "You're going to go up to him and you're going to tell him that you ain't going to go out like that." Put a little bass in his voice, puffed his chest out, and he came walking up directly to me. He's like, "Hey, McAbee, we're going to talk about this match." I said, "Don't worry about it. We're changing the finish up." And he goes, "Thank God." Instant relief. And I will tell that story to the end of time, as long as me and him are good friends. So
I do want to elaborate on one thing, though. The people that worry about kayfabe, if the world was still worried about kayfabe, tell me why the Undertaker sat on and drank beer and Jack Daniels was Stone Cold on Broken Skull Sessions. Now, obviously, this show doesn't make the money that shit does, but my point remains valid.
Right, but still though. Anyway.
Oh, look at this. Jimmy Ward said changing the finish. What does that mean? Look, there's some places you're allowed to do things, other places you're not allowed to do things. And when Cole's a guest on my show, I really don't give a shit what he does. As long as he doesn't get me thrown off air, I don't care.
Nobody gives a shit about what I do.
No, I don't mean it like that. I mean in general. I work, dude. You know it, and a lot of other people know it. I work with a ton of people. I work with a ton of promotions. I get phone calls and like, "Hey, listen, you're on call. You're backup." Okay, cool. Whatever. That's fine. I always want to help anybody out, provided A, the price is right, and B, I'm not going to end up in stuff like Lawrence. So as long as those items are met, I'm good. When it comes to promoters that I work with, you know, I enjoy working with the conglomerate that has been, the Pro Wrestling Union with AWL and CPW, because that's been home. That's been the original starting of what this has become.
Right.
So that's how I feel about it. Um, what is this? Well, that's a load of shit and shitty attitude to have about it. Okay, Jimmy, I'm not sure what that means, but I'm sure I'll get a phone call later. He'll explain it to me then. But I mean, I just the you know, you as a promoter, you've always been a pleasure to work for. Jimmy as a promoter's always been fun to work for. Buck, good God, I haven't met too many people who've had anything negative to say about Buck Harbor. You know, I don't hear too many people talking negative about most of the companies I work for. So, but that's just how I am.
Let's see. We still got a few more matches, right?
That was everything I've got. What else is there?
I was trying to think if there was anything else.
You got so you got
Drew
Nathan.
Hood.
Well, we'll start at the top of the list that I've got pictures of. We got Nathan and Christopher Prince.
Okay.
You've got Brittany Jade and Katrina.
Yep.
You've got the tag team title matchup. You've got Cooper and Big Country.
Okay.
You've got Dion and Cam, and you've got Drew and Bebop. I got 6.
7 matches.
What the hell's the other one? What is the other match? I only got this. This is all you gave me.
You forgot one.
No, this is what you gave me.
It's another big man contest. The Scottish Warhammer, Mitch Robertson, versus the Anomaly, Antonio Morgan.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a big man matchup. Where in the hell did that picture go? Because I never had it. You sent me the packet of everything other than the Cooper match, Cooper and Big Country, and it wasn't in that. It wasn't in that original folder.
How long ago since I sent you that stuff?
October.
Okay, so I may have skipped a picture.
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly what it was. I had that old picture of Antonio, and thanks to the wards, I was able to get one of the newer pictures, which is being used now. I wanted that newer picture because the newer one looked a lot better than the older one because he's changed a little bit since then. It looks less like the Stevie Wonder picture, like where he's got the glasses and everything on with his head up like this. And the new picture that we use now, you could see his physique a lot better, and you could just see just how massive he is of an individual, like the bull that he is.
Gotcha.
Or Predator.
Yeah, Predator sounds right. That sounds way better.
So
I'm working on getting the image actually currently. So,
but yeah, so 7 matches, $10 general admission. Kids 12 and under get in for free. I will forever lay claim to this, that it is the best value for great professional wrestling in the upstate.
It definitely is going to be the place to be this Saturday night. There's a lot of shows running Saturday night, but I don't know who else you would want other than, look at this. I mean, that's a big man contest right there. That is going to be a brawl.
Right. King Kong versus Godzilla. I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking at right there.
Oh, definitely. It's going to be fantastic.
That would have been fitting for Monster Sprawl, just to be honest with you.
Yeah, it really would have. I've got to delete so many pictures out of this damn thing because of how many events we work. There's about 50, 60 pictures here, so I have to constantly move in and out of what's in time and what's past. So, and I haven't deleted the past out of it in a couple of shows, so a little behind.
That's okay. All right, well, that covers all of our bases.
That covers pretty much everything, unfortunately. And Matty G didn't show up.
Like I said, I mean, between being the GM and of course him being a pastor for his church, there's no telling what he had going on between the moment the show started all the way till now, and probably by now he's probably calling it quits for the night. So
it's quite possible. I mean, it's 9 p.m. now.
Yeah. So, I mean, in all honesty, him being the GM actually frees me up a lot more to do other stuff, because when it was solely me, well, you've seen what I was like when I was taking on the burden.
Yeah.
So help was always appreciated. You always helped me but I remember there were times, like especially after the show was over, when you just saw just how tuckered out I was, and you were just like sitting there like, dude, man, take a break.
Dude, not that, and also, I remember telling you about it either then or I watched one night when we were packing down, right?
Right.
I watched one night, you were beat to hell. You were done.
Yeah.
Your wife came up behind you and like, put her hand on your shoulder or put her arm around you or something. And the support being there, that was like, that's what's up. That's, it shows dedication to everything,
Right. I've got a good woman. I will admit that. I'm lucky to have her. Very lucky. So,
yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah, definitely. I understand that one.
Yep.
Understood that. We're all chasing wrestling rings on the weekends, and sometimes the families can go and sometimes they can't.
Right. But and just think, in the next couple of weeks we'll have a whole new announcement with Pro Wrestling Union, and and you know a little bit about it, but we'll share that later.
Hey man, I know as little as, I swear to God, I'm the dumbest child my mother ever raised, because at one point in time she would ask me, "Hey, where you been?" I don't know. Well, who was there? I don't know. I didn't know nothing. I swear. So I was always the dumbest child my mother ever raised. Don't claim I know something.
That's how my oldest kid does nowadays. We'll ask him like, "Hey, bud, how was school today? Good. What did you do?" Well, no.
See, my kids are not like that. If you ask them, I'll put you, I guess, we will ask them, if we're sitting at the dinner table, we will ask them about their day. By the time either one of my kids gets done talking, I've finished eating.
We gotta pull stuff out of the oldest child. He's well, mainly because the TV will be on in the background, and he'll be sitting there actually really just watching what's on TV. So we'll just say, "Cage, how's dinner?" Uh-huh. What are you eating? I don't know. Now the youngest one, Caden, he's the one that he'll talk your head off, but the bad thing is you can barely understand half of what he says, because he'll start coherent and then it will go off into some weird gibberish, and somehow it always incorporates chicken. I don't know why. He's got a weird thing with chickens, but anyway.
Yeah, my son, it's bananas.
Bananas.
Yeah.
I would rather have bananas than chicken. He'll just
you will until that's his answer for everything. Hey, what are you doing, banana?
Banana.
Yeah, that's it. It's like his random go-to word. I'm like, no, dude, stop. Like talk to me. Don't just say banana randomly.
No, like whenever like Caden will insult somebody, I'll be like, I'll be there like, you're being silly. He goes, "You're a chicken butt." I'm like, "Oh yeah, well you're a chicken head." And he's like, "Oh yeah, well you're a chicken fart."
Man.
And then I'm like flipping out because like you're 4 years old. Where the hell did you learn fart?
That's like got to be one of the first words all kids learn, especially little boys. So, couple of comments came in. Josh Williams said, "Hey Cole and Ron, I'll see you guys Saturday." Yes, sir.
Yes, you will.
We stand corrected. Toby said he did miss one after he lost the Carolinas championship. He missed the following show.
Okay.
Yep. And then,
Okay, but still, one out of all you've got to think about it.
Right. Kylan Disney chimed in and said, "Missed the PW family and cannot." I'm guessing that's cannot wait to get back at the first of the year.
Or maybe he's saying what he means, and he's saying he can't get back at the first of the year.
Get back at the first of the year. Well, he can't come back at the first of the year. Well, I guess
I mean, he can't come back the first of the year. I guess Josh gets promoted.
Somebody's got to get named the head referee. Yeah.
I guess he's senior referee now.
Well, oh Lord, him and Timmy are going to have a head referee match, ref shirt on a pole match.
No, I got some exciting news for you. You know that we had a referee shortage. Tim couldn't be there, and of course Colin couldn't be there, and we needed another referee. I got a referee, and he is one of my favorite people in this business right now.
Oh God, I'm horrified.
Bob Keller.
No way. Okay. I was scared for a minute there.
I've got Bob Keller coming to the show, and it is going to be great.
You had me worried for a minute, sir.
Bob Keller. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Hey. Did you put this ring together?
Oh man, I can't wait to see how that pans out. I've met Bob a time or two, so I've talked to him a couple times. I'm interested to see how that goes. I'm interested to see Bob in a ring.
Yeah, no, Bob's excellent. I mean, inside of the ring, in all honesty, the only other position which we'd have to cut you out and make you a referee, which I don't know if that's something you want to do. If I had him on the microphone, everybody now we know Bill Hazelwood is quick-witted, hilarious on the mic, and everything like this. Bob gives Bill a run for his money. I'm not gonna lie. I've heard some of the best quips from Bob Keller, and he'll have you in stitches. But also at the same time, he will say things to you that will cut you deep if he don't like you or if you make him angry.
Right. No, and I get that. Like I say, the only interaction I had with him actually was at the Una show, that you ran.
Yeah.
Then I think I've talked to him on Facebook a couple times.
Right. But no,
that's about it.
But yep, but Bob will be there, and I'm excited for it because I love Bob Keller.
Right. Now, man, so we've got that going on, and then I know there's plenty coming up in 2023. So it's gonna be an exciting time. When are what is the plan for announcing what's coming up with 2023?
Well, once we get through with this show on December 3rd, we will make the announcement in regards to some changes that we're going to be doing to Pro Wrestling Union. I've already put out dates for the first half of the year, the first 3 dates for March, April, and June. So that information's out there. We will announce more for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. We have the March 11th date pretty much set. We're just trying to get some more information from people that are also wanting to get involved. Right. But with it being the time of year that it is, it takes people a little bit longer to communicate, just because people work their regular jobs, and sometimes people's jobs come home with them. So, they they don't know what the meaning of the day off is until it gets the weekend. And of course, the weekends I'm not really available. So,
Right. I, hey man, look, I mean, I get it. Essentially, what I do with this and the wrestling thing and working a full time, it's like having two full time jobs.
right.
Um, I had explained that a couple of times the last 24 hours actually. So because a lot of people are like, we see all this stuff on Facebook, but what are you doing? And I'm like, well, here. I just laid out what it is. Um, so as far as it goes though, man, I'm excited for the show. I could tell Tiffany's excited for the show. I can't wait to be the ring girl again. Yes. Yeah.
Just don't scream.
Yeah, dude.
Don't scream. That's all I ask. I have very, very minimal hearing out of this left ear as it is now. And I like to try to keep that for like the next 20 to 30 years or however long God intends me to be on this earth. So,
well, the one thing about it with when it comes to Tiffany, you will never, if you're at an event with her or you need to know where she is, you will never not be able to find her. So it's like a beacon, it's a location beacon. That's what that's GPS at its finest.
right. Because I know the last time she did that, I was not. I mean, I was on the same side of the room as her, but there was a good distance between her and I, and my ears were ringing for like a good minute and a half.
Yeah, I was not too far away from her, working on notes, and she let one out, and it scared the hell out of me because I wasn't anticipating it. So it's like a firecracker went off near you.
Right. Well, I know who she screams for, but he will not be there that night. So,
I mean, she screams for everybody. I don't know what you're talking about.
well, but I know who she screams for the most. But he will not be there that night. He'll be back. He'll be back next year.
Yeah, he will. I'm interested to see how all that plays out, man. I'm interested to see who he's going to face. I'm interested to see who comes out on top of that. Um, Chase seemed to be, in fantastic shape. He looked like he definitely stacked up a bit, seeing
Right.
as he was, he couldn't wrestle, so he just stayed in the gym a lot. That's what it appeared to me, as far as from my perspective. Is he, is the ring rust going to be there?
I'm going to be honest with you, since I saw the one match between him and Kay Holiday over in North Carolina, because he was cleared to wrestle up there. I honestly did not see a lot of rust on him. Like he wasn't sluggish. He wasn't moving slower. He had the same ring awareness as he had before the side effects from the COVID vaccine did what it did to him. And don't let what happened to one scare you, people out there, because I've been vaccinated and I didn't have the same issue. It may not be for everybody, and I think they're just now coming around to figuring that out. But I mean, he took it in stride and he did the best thing he could do with his time, and that was to concentrate on getting himself stronger and faster. And I think when he comes back, you're going to see something a little bit more different, but you're going to be seeing more of the same as a dominant force in wrestling, because that's what he does. He's wrestling.
Right.
So he's meant to be in this profession.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. I mean, he looks the part. He's a hell of a worker. He's a fantastic wrestler. I do wonder about his choices of people he hangs around. So there's that. Um, does that help him? Oh yeah, it might help him win matches, but is it going to hinder his career as far as development and growth? You know, let's call a spade here. We all know he went and did what he did health wise because he was getting a shot at WWE. We know this. Right. That's not hidden information. That's real life, folks. Now, if he doesn't have that ace in the hole back pocket person in WWE, if he's lazy by using a manager in the Indies, what's it going to translate to when he does go somewhere else to the big leagues?
In all honesty, I don't think he has to worry about that too much. But the relationship that he has, and let's not beat around the bush, the relationship that he has with Derek Vanderford. All I'm going to say is this. Before there was Chase Emery, there was Derek Driver. Derek Driver was his guy. Where's Derek Driver now?
Who?
Exactly. Derek Driver ended back up with Perry James, and that worked out more beautifully for Derek. Before there was Derek Driver, there was hardcore Hunter Thompson, who was supposed to come in and take out Deion Johnson. Where's Hunter Thompson now?
Who?
I just feel like if Chase is not careful, same results.
But that seems to be kind of the cycle there when it comes to Vanderford.
Well, I'll give Derek credit where credit is due with his pick with Chase. Chase did the one thing that the other guys were not able to do, and that was whatever Derek had set for them to accomplish, Chase was the only one to accomplish it. He wanted Chase to have the heavyweight championship. He got it. He wanted Derek Driver to go on and continue being the Trans-South champion, but he lost that Trans-South title to Austin Jordan. And the next thing you know, Derek Driver was gone. Hunter Thompson was supposed to take out Deion Johnson. Deion Johnson won the match. Hunter Thompson's gone. So if Chase is not careful, as long as he stays on top of his game, I think he's okay. But if anything happens to that Pro Wrestling Union Championship, I don't know.
There's a lot to unpackage there for anybody who doesn't know all the intricacies here that we're talking about. Cole's already mentioned, guys, out in the audience, that Chase being lineal champion, he'll be going up against whoever the current interim title holder is, probably in April.
March.
So
I will say that March the 11th, that will be the date of the undisputed Pro Wrestling Union Heavyweight Championship match. March 11th.
March the 11th. Okay, I got my book in the back. I'm gonna. That way, I got it. Man, April
will definitely be a concentration on the junior heavyweight title.
Okay. Now, what is the layout for the junior heavyweight title? By that I mean, is there going to be contenders matches? Is there going to be a tournament, battle royal? What are your thoughts?
Well, we have got the following already thought of in regards to this setting. It is sort of like a tournament. We will be seeking out who we consider to be the top junior heavyweights for the Carolinas. We will have it set up to where the day of the event, we are not going to have them already put into brackets. They will be drawn. 8 men, 2 names come out of the drawing. Those are the 2 men that will face each other in the ring. 4 singles matches. The winners of those 4 singles matches will go on to a fatal 4-way elimination style match. Whoever comes out the victor at the end of that will be crowned the junior heavyweight champion. So let's just say for the sake of things, I'm trying to think who would be in this as a possibility. We'll say Buggy Wright.
Okay.
Because and we'll say Christopher Prince. They can automatically be in this this tournament setting, but they will not know who they face until that name is drawn. So there is no prep work. There is no, I got to get to this guy, and then I got to pay attention to the following preliminary match, and I got to pay attention to the other preliminary. It's none of that. You don't know who you are wrestling until those names are drawn.
Wow. So that's going to be an insane layout for a tournament.
Right. So,
because normally tournaments are predetermined brackets, and the competitors go, and then they go, and then they go. But if you're saying that it's going to be essentially a lottery is it going to be a lottery every round?
Well, like I said, you're going to have a series of 4 singles matches. A name will be drawn. The winner of each singles match will go on to the final 4.
Okay.
The final 4 will be an elimination style fatal 4-way.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to look at the long scheme of things, 8 men, 5 matches.
Now, is that going to be held at one event, or is that going to be split up?
Oh, we're doing it as one event, pal.
Oh, my.
Like I said, we are going all in on the junior heavyweights.
Okay. That's awesome. The layout of the show is kind of starting to make sense in my head too. So that'll be a good time.
Right. Now we will make sure to have a couple of other matches, so that way there's at least a rest break. So that way it's not match after match after match and all that other stuff. Especially when you get down to that the last individual that gets into the final 4, they're not going to get much of a break, but there will be a break in there, so that way they got time to at least recoup before heading out there. But then again, you got 3 other guys that have already been in a wrestling match, and unless somebody gets lucky and gets a quick pin and didn't have to do a whole lot of work,
right?
But if you got 8 men that are determined to become the first junior heavyweight champion, guarantee you they're going to be going out there and they're going to be they're going to try to go out there and go all out. So,
most definitely. Well, Mr. Mac, I don't have anything further. If you have anything else left to say, I'm going to head into the closing out of this ordeal.
Okay. So it is this Saturday in Union, South Carolina. It is at 115 Thomas Street. That's the Union County Recreation Center. 7 great matches. We have general admission at $10. Kids 12 and under get in for free. There is no wrestling show going on in the Carolinas that has anything like that going on. Think about it. You got children ranging from that age group. A lot of places are either going to charge you $10 or $5 or $8 or whatever have you. This is a way that it's a family-friendly, action-packed professional wrestling that shouldn't break the bank, especially if you got little ones.
Right.
Doors open at 6 p.m., bell time's at 7 p.m., and that is pretty much all I've got. And I'm sorry I haven't been as energetic, but like I said, I'm still recouping from yesterday.
Man, I fully understand. It's been a long it's been a long 36 hours on this side of the game as well, so I completely feel it. Coming up after, you know where to be December 3rd. We've made that abundantly clear. December 3rd, you need to be in Union, South Carolina for Pro Wrestling Union. That's going to be a fantastic show. Coming up 2 weeks after that, Friday the 16th, be in Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't have a flyer for this yet. I've got to get a hold of Thomas and see if I've got one for it. But Pro Wrestling Savage will be hosting a charity event in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm excited for that one. Coming up after that, Sunday the 18th, XWW presents Winter Bash. That is in Monroe, North Carolina, at the Monroe National Guard Armory.
That's going to be awesome.
Look at the talent you've got from Impact Wrestling. You've got WCW Legend Lodi.
I was going to say, I see Johnny Swinger right there in the middle.
Yep. Bosworth, Madman Fulton.
Yeah, Madman Fulton.
Yep.
Danny Moe.
Yep, Danny Moe's on there.
Thomas Extreme.
Extreme Proctor, the other guys.
Cam Jackson.
Jordan Holt, Christopher Prince. It is going to be something special out there.
Well, I see the other guys up top, but I know that Keith Mack's still in recovery.
Yeah, he is. Mitch Robertson's on there.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah,
you stacked little show there. So
now is there anything going on in between that Friday and Sunday? Anything? No.
Not that I have. No.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing worth going to.
Nothing that I have or have been brought up, into the fold of. Do you know of something going on that Saturday the 17th?
No, not really.
I know of a show going on, but I can't remember what or where or why. I know there's a show on that Saturday. There is. There's something going on in Tennessee that weekend on the 17th, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah, there is.
I saw that.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, they were asking for a ring announcer, and they were like, must have teeth. I remember that part. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that's Imperial Wrestling. Yeah. Maybe that's what I was thinking about, was because I also saw that announcement too. I know a few guys that have worked for them and everything like that, like the Cross Brothers, Jeff Conley. He's worked with them before. I think the tag group or the group Level X, they've worked with them.
That's Blanco Loco and Axton, Ray?
Axton, yeah.
Okay. I wanted to call him Ashton for some reason, but Ashton is a very fine cigar. So that would make sense for me.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, I know next weekend, just in the upstate, Combat Pro Wrestling, they're doing their show in Taylor's.
Okay.
I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody or anything like that. Just bringing people up to speed on what's around. And I know that there's a lot going on with Christmas, but if you get an opportunity to check out any of these independent shows, plus you got Action Pack Wrestling every other weekend.
Yeah, every other Friday night down in Chester.
Yeah, every other Friday night in Chester, and they always do great shows.
3 Count's got something coming up.
Yeah, the Country Santa Clash and 3 Count has always put on great shows.
I haven't heard anything out of Turbo lately.
I'm sure they got something coming up.
Yeah.
And this is for people that are down here in the Lexington and Columbia area. Even though it's the same night on December 3rd, there is Palmetto Championship Wrestling.
Yep. They've got their second part of the Palmetto Classic, I believe.
Right, and I know that they had to make adjustments because of the bad weather that was set up from the month before, that caused them to go ahead and cancel the show.
Right. Which, thankfully we didn't get much of that.
Right. So, and I believe Old School Championship Wrestling over there in Charleston, they've got something coming up this month as well. I'm just throwing it out there because
Yeah.
I'm one of those few promoters that doesn't try to be like, oh no, I'm the only show to come see and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling them it's where it's where they know the rule. You want to find great independent professional wrestling, you follow me. I'm going to be there Saturday night at Pro Wrestling Union. So that's, if you want to see great wrestling, you go where I go. That one I know. And most of the people that have followed me to those shows have said the same thing.
Right.
Tiffany Childers said, yes, tomorrow night will be great. That's okay. She must be talking about tomorrow at APW Chester. Because she's not talking about Saturday because the Saturday is the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, because APW Chester, they do have their show tomorrow night.
Right.
And even though I'm going to be in the area, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it just because by the time that I leave Lexington, it's going to be around 5 p.m. And then I got to make that trek all the way to Union County. That's just too much. So I'll just rest up a little bit more and then get ready for the next day.
Yep, that's what she was talking about because she's the ring girl there too. That's awesome. That is cool.
Is there any place you're not the ring girl at?
Probably. I can name a few.
She also acquired the ring girl position for American Pro Wrestling over there in Bowling Springs, apparently.
Okay.
Well, Chad Colt's changing some stuff up. So.
Well, hey, that's good. That's cool.
So.
I have no idea. I haven't been able to make it yet. Been busy with a lot of
I plan on in this next coming year to be trying to go out to a little bit more shows, and I'll explain further on that soon.
Yeah, but at any rate, man, as always, it was great talking to you. I'm ready for Saturday to be here already. So I'm ready to see that crowd and ready to see everybody there and getting in the holiday spirit.
Right. Well, sir, you be careful heading back home.
Oh yeah.
I know it's going to be late at this point with you having what was it, 230 miles?
According to my calculations, I will be on the road for the next 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Jeez.
Light work.
All right, man. Well, you be safe. I'm going to hop off here. I'm actually about to be going to bed because I'm old and I go to bed before 10 o'clock. So
yeah, I'm not getting back into the state until the wee hours of Friday. And that's because I have some pressing matters to take care of when I get back into South Carolina. So I've got some business to attend to tomorrow. So.
All right, man. Well, you be safe and I'll see you on Saturday. Okay.
Yes, sir. We will see you then. Guys, we will see you as well. Thank you for tuning in to the Thursday Night Indie Spotlight. As always, I am your host, The Saint, bringing it to you every week, twice a week. And just want to say thank you all. Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. And here we are now, a week past. I'm just really ready to get into some more professional wrestling stuff. So I will see you guys at the Indies. Take it easy. Thank you, Toby, for the safe travels remark. Tiffany, we appreciate having you there. Thank you all again. Have a